Everyone enjoys true crime. It's among the most exciting entertainment subgenres nowadays. Additionally, it is a moral minefield. However, we are compelled to devour every piece of this genre which Netflix puts on our plates. Netflix's latest true crime blockbuster, Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, has broken viewing records. But some wish the Milwaukee killer weren't getting quite so much exposure. Dahmer has been generating plenty of controversies. When everyone is freaking out about how morbid the new Dahmer show is, and you're just bummed they didn't show the actual morbid parts, one TikToker posted. Nothing would have stopped online bloggers from coming up with new ways to use the Dahmer narrative to gain attention to their own content, even if Netflix's adaptation of the Dahmer story had really been morally impeccable and approved by the families of his victims. The show established itself as the top show on the streaming platform there at the time of publication after receiving over 196 million hours of viewing in just its first week. Additionally, Dahmer has received a great deal of attention for a variety of wrong reasons, just like Tiger King did in 2020. Number 1. Officer of the Year Awards. Officers John Belzerzak and Joseph Gabrish from the Milwaukee Police Department both get an Officer of the Year trophy in Episode 9 of the show. Despite having successful careers in law enforcement, neither received recognition. When Konorak Sintha died some years ago as a result of their egregious incompetence, Police Commander Philip Areola sacked them. Belzerzak and Gabrish were reinstated in 1994 with back pay after filing an appeal against the judgment. Bowser became the president of the Milwaukee Police Association in 2005, serving in that position for 4 years before retiring in 2017. Gabe Rush entered the Grafton Police Department before rising to the very rank of captain, and ultimately resigning as Trenton's police chief in 2019. Number 2. Grandma threw out the mannequin. When Dahmer returns home to discover his mannequin disappeared from his bedroom in Episode 4, it is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire series. He approaches his grandma, initially speaking calmly, but when he learns that she tossed it away, he loses control and shouts at her. Dahmer claims that although his grandmother did find his concealed mannequin, she didn't dispose of it because he thought his father had been informed. Instead, he destroyed it by throwing it in the trash. Even if it seems like a minor inaccuracy, perhaps his relationship with his granny was more relaxed than the show suggested. Number 3. Dharma's next-door neighbor. Many fans of the television drama Glenda Cleveland, played by Niecy Nash, have been brought to tears by her encounter with Jeffrey Dahmer while they were neighbors. Glenda is an actual person who took part in the Dahmer tale. She wasn't residing next door to Jeff, which is what Netflix got wrong. Pamela Bass was Jeff's actual neighbor in the same building. Contrary to how Netflix portrayed it in the show, Glenda was residing a few blocks away from Jeff's apartment complex and had never spoken to or met him. Number 4. Dahmer's relationship with Tony Hughes. It's not entirely clear from Jeffrey Dahmer's testimony whether or not he and Tony Hughes were acquainted before the evening of Hughes' murder. Shirley Hughes claimed to have only met Dahmer hours earlier at Club 219 before returning him to the flat. However, Michael Ross, who was acquainted with Hughes at the time and who made an appearance in a Killer's Talks in the Jeffrey Dahmer tapes, claimed that the two did interact briefly after the Netflix series release. Given that Dahmer and Tony Hughes were both dead, Echo Dahmer, Tony's mother, claimed that their connection did not actually develop as romantically as it was portrayed in the television series. Actually, there is no way to know the truth. Number 5. Konorak met Dahmer outside a liquor store. Connor X is one of the lads Jeffrey Dahmer promises to purchase alcohol for in Episode 2. Let me call and get you something. What would you like? However, this isn't where or how he actually saw him. At Milwaukee's Grand Avenue Mall, where Dahmer frequently hung out, he ran into a number of his victims using a Synthase phone on May 26, 1991. The adolescent consented to return to his residence, which is shown in the series, after being offered cash to pose for photos. This is because the same phone is said to identify Dahmer as the person who attacked the teen's older brother years before. However, there is no proof that one of them realized who the other was at the time. Number 6. Dahmer called the families of his victims. In the show's 6th episode, Jeffrey Dahmer calls Errol Lindsay's family and informs his sister that he has disappeared into the vortex. Carolyn Smith reportedly got a threatening phone in March 1991, urging her to give up searching for her lost brother, Edward Smith, who had last been seen in June 1990. The speaker said, "Because he's dead," when she questioned why. Calls were made to Ernest Miller's grandparents soon after he vanished in September 1990. According to veteran Milwaukee writer Annie Schwartz, Dahmer apparently confessed to police that he actually made calls, one in which a man said, "Help me," and another making choking noises, but there has never been concrete evidence to support this. Number 7. Drinking bags of blood. Carolyn Smith reportedly got a threatening phone in March 1991, urging her to give up searching for her lost brother, Edward Smith, who had last been seen in June 1990. The speaker said, "Because he's dead," when she questioned why. Calls were made to Ernest Miller's grandparents soon after he vanished in September 1990. According to veteran Milwaukee writer Annie Schwartz, Dahmer apparently confessed to police that he actually made calls, one in which a man said, "Help me," and another made choking noises, but there has never been concrete evidence to support this. Number 8. Dahmer killed Dean Vaughn. Dean Vaughn, a new inhabitant of the Oxford Apartments, is introduced to Glinda Cleveland in Episode 7. Vaughn was actually a tenant in the building who was discovered murdered in his upstairs apartment in early May 1991. She sees him speaking to Dahmer in the hallway and is obsessively worried that the series doesn't continue with his narrative. Before and after his capture, Dahmer was questioned once more regarding the suspicious death. Dahmer adamantly denied killing him both times, and because he was so open about the 17 killings he did commit, authorities took his word that he was speaking the truth. Furthermore, there was never any proof that linked him to the crime. What has happened to Dean Vaughn since his murder remains unsolved as of 2022? Number 9. Getting Glenda to eat a sandwich. He went up to Glenda and pleaded with her to eat a sandwich. The spectators were perplexed by this emotional scene as they were not sure if Jeff was trying to poison Glenda or if he had good intentions. The truth is that this has never ever occurred. Pamela, according to Jeff's actual neighbor, was quite acquainted with Jeff and occasionally had several drinks at his house. The neighbor also noted that Jeff loved to brag about how he occasionally made sandwiches for her and the other neighbors, something he enjoyed sharing. However, after Jeff's misdeeds were exposed, Pamela became uneasy about what the sandwich's actual contents might have been. Number 10. Dahmer always wore his glasses at trial. Most of the scenes are faithfully recreated, and Jeffrey Dahmer is tried for the killings at the end of the series. Even Peter's portrayal of Dahmer differed in one specific way. He almost always dons the killer's distinctive glasses. Yes, the actual Dahmer chose not to look the jurors or the victims' relatives in the eyes during the majority of the trial while he was not wearing his glasses. The series' legacy will be the disapproval by the loved ones of Dahmer's victims and the horrible reactions it received on social media, irrespective of what Netflix intended with it. How do you feel about these episodes? Please leave a comment below with your suggestions for similar videos, and remember to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy what you see. To ensure you don't miss any of our upcoming uploads, kindly switch on the notification bell while you're at it.